Samreen. I'm from Calcutta basically, but then based out of Delhi currently. For the past 8 years, I've been working in the rural belt of India, basically in Bihar, Chhattisgarh, West Bengal, and a little bit of Orissa. So I have worked with women mostly, and I have realized that income generation or livelihood is a major thing that is required in the country, not only for the upliftment of the people, but also for poverty alleviation. So this is the core sector that I work in. But with this, what I observed recently is that the use of waste, as in why would I call use of waste, is because we are generating enormous amount of waste, and today using it properly and recycling and using waste so that we generate less amount of it is very important. So today everyone does not talk about CSR mostly. Corporate social responsibility has become a thing of the past, and today we work and talk more about ESG, which is environment, sustainability and governance. Okay, so why we want to talk about the environment so much? Because there is climate change. Today we are experiencing a lot of issues due to climate change, maybe the floods or the earthquakes or anything that we can think about. So today what we need to do is also take care of our environment, and whatever we are doing to the environment, be accountable for it. So I am going to work on a project which deals with plastics. Plastic is something which is there everywhere in our household, in our environment, in our community. We need plastics, but at the same time we also need to reduce the use of plastics, which I feel and everyone feels, I think. So we have to figure out ways and means as to how we can either recycle the products or also reduce them at the same time. So this project is basically dealing with ideas that we can have around reducing the use of plastic, reusing plastic or recycling plastics with the students, and how they work within their communities to effectively develop this thing. Adil, can we move to the next slide? So apart from plastics, this project would also introduce the entire industry, the waste industry that exists. So there are material recovery facilities in each city across nations. So how they operate, what is going on within these facilities, and also how plastics that are coming out, as in plastic bottles that are coming out, or the plastics that we throw, or the wrappers which are there of biscuits, of maybe anything which is within a plastic setup, is again bailed out and sold at a rate which the rag pickers find a livelihood from. So in this project, what we'll have to do with the students is they will realize what is there in their own community, the quantum of the waste that is existing. Also, they will find out ideas how they can do something which is waste, but it can be made into something useful. So that transition of making something which is a waste, so as to say, to making something which is useful, that journey they'll have to understand and make that bridge as to how something which we are not using can be made something efficient and effective. Definitely there'll be a lot of research which will go into these ideas, because they'll have to understand the steps or what are the possible ways in which they can do something of that sort. Coming to the weekly goals, so in the first week, I think the major introduction to the SDG 11 and SDG 13 is what the students need to know, as in why, what are the sustainable development goals. They must be having some idea, but being specific towards SDG 11 and SDG 13 would be the need. Further, we'll also develop the idea behind questionnaires, focus group discussions and surveys, what they mean, what is their need, and how we can work with it. As in these tools, the questionnaires, the FGDs and the surveys, how they can be brought into usage within the community for various activities. Further, we'll also identify certain ways in which these products can be made from plastic bottles. Maybe a certain flower pot can be converted out of a plastic bottle, or something which is very relevant, which can be done on a day-to-day basis. So each student would identify 5 activities which they can engage the community in, and later we can also finalize to NGOs who can collaborate and support the community from within if they want to do something at a sustainable level. Week two would be majorly very activity oriented, and we'd like to also invite some guest speakers who would also have certain expertise in the same field, and they would like to speak to the students as to how they can develop things better, have some inputs as to what they are doing. There'll also be a feasibility analysis of each idea with each student, with the mentor, and therein they will be able to finalize what they want to do. Further, there would be a SWOT analysis for each participant, and then they'll work on the idea and get the results as in how they have worked with the community. Week 3, what we do is that we'll get feedback with what they have done in the community. We'll also get to feel and reflect as to what they've done, how they feel about it. Is there anything they could have done better, or they could have done something in a different way which would have yielded better results? And also a simple reflection as to how the entire journey was. Week 4, we'll consolidate all the project learning in any form which they are comfortable in. It can be a video, it can be a poster, it can be a mind map, it can be a documentary, and we'll have the discussions on the way forward, as in how we see tomorrow. And finally, we'll have a proper, maybe a presentation which will showcase the understanding of the environment and how they've developed the skills that were required for effective waste management, and also to inculcate in them a sense of being careful while using plastics, as well as anything which can harm the environment, so as to say.